Yo, so once again, no chapter or anime episodes. A pretty sad week, but it's not all doom and gloom. All right, we got a pretty good amount of shit from Oda, like this little SBS 110. So we got some shit to go over. So there's quite a few questions or whatever here. So I'm not gonna lie, a lot of them are pretty dog shit because Oda could easily just pick and choose whatever he wants to answer. So I'm just gonna skim through the ones that I deem not worthy of a spotlight in this wonderful, wonderful video. So I'm gonna try to keep this shit as short as possible. So first question is pretty ass. I'm not gonna lie. Literally, it's just a joke question. I'm not even going to dive into it. You can read the shit if you want. I'm not wasting my time. Next one, we got something kind of cool. It's Yamato's kid form of her devil fruit transformations. And it looks like she still had like the Hagoromo clouds around her. And I highly doubt she had her fruit awakened at that point. So it seems that clouds do not necessarily mean awakening like a lot of us thought. So next up, we got a question about the anatomy of the long arm tribe, which I'm sure was a burning question in all of our minds. So feast your eyes on this bad boy. Pretty much they just have two elbows, is what I gathered from this. It's absolutely groundbreaking. This is probably the biggest, most important thing that he answered, like in relation to the actual story. He revealed who gave Luffy the food back in Egghead, and he repeatedly says it had to have been done at the speed of light. So it's pretty obvious that it's Kizaru. It would be absolutely insane if Oda never acknowledged this in the actual story, because this is pretty huge for Kizaru's character. He pretty much went completely against his usual, character morals by doing something like this, so it would be a complete waste if this never pops up again. Next up is a big-ass thing with all the sword members' age and height. Not going to read all this shit because it doesn't really matter. The only one thing that he did say is that Prince Bruce isn't actually a prince because he's just rich, and hey, there's that. Next, Oda actually did a good future, bad futures thing for Jinbei, like he did for all the other Straw Hats. I'm not gonna lie, bad future Jinbei kind of looks better than the good future one. I know he kind of looks like a Orochi here, but still, let's see this shit happen. Come on. Next one, there's two questions, and the first one is completely irrelevant, so I'm just gonna skip it, but the second one is kind of interesting, I guess. They ask how Luffy's clothes get big with him when he goes to his giant form of Gear 5, and Oda pretty much says it's because his cock would be out. No, mental gymnastics here. That's he's just being pretty straight up. It's pretty logical, if I do say so myself. Next up, we get a new character reveal. This is such like a weird-ass specific question that I would never think of, but they ask who made the Gorsei suit, and it's this weird cat-looking motherfucker named Niornio or some shit. I doubt he's ever going to come up in the story, but there's that who were dying to know that shit. Next up, we got a bunch of Vice Admiral information. If I'm being honest, I'm not a big Vice Admiral guy, but I like Dull and the Big Neck guy, so I'll read those ones out. Dull is a martial artist with a rock and roll soul. It's kind of unique. We don't have very many martial artists in One Piece. I guess you could consider like Sanji one. And Red King, the neck guy, punches with a steam engine powered right knuckle, which goes pretty hard, I can't lie. Next up is a very good ass question and answer, and it's also the last one we got, so it's been 10 already. Jesus Christ, I've been speeding through this fucking shit. So they pretty much ask for the backstories of Green Bull and Fujitora, which is a good ass question. So Green Bull was a cop and he got thrown into jail for doing something bad with a woman. So this makes Green Bull even more unlikable, which I didn't even know was possible. And Fujitora, he started off as a bodyguard, and then he became a military defense chief in the Blue Kingdom that once existed in the Grand Line. So he was that fucking guy before he was an admiral, and the kingdom was destroyed, and Fujitora became a significant war criminal. So that goes, that's pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie. And then you get these little pics of Green Bull and Fuji down there, and something that I noticed is that Fujitora and Kizaru were the only two admirals that seemed like they had like a good, happy childhood. They're the only ones smiling. Everyone else seemed like they were in fucking poverty, fighting for their life. Another thing is that the pattern on Fujitora's kimono is very, very similar to the one on Ryuma's, so I think there is like a real possibility that he's a Shimotsuki. I mean, he doesn't have like a last name as of right now, revealed to us. His name is just Isho right now, so, Shimotsuki Isho could be a real thing. But, yeah, that's it. 10 fucking questions. Chapters next week, finally, so we survived the drought and all the dog shit videos. So, yeah.